If you want to live in Nha Trang, Vietnam, there's one thing you're going to have to do every 3 months, and that's visa runs. I've broken down all of the visa run options in a separate video, linked in the description, but today we're going to talk about the infamous 23-hour bus run. This option will cost about $160 for the visa run, and this includes everything, including the bus, the visa for Vietnam, and the visa for Cambodia. Make sure you have some extra V&D in cash handy though, because it is a long bus run and there will be some stops along the way, as well as you will need to print off a couple of things, but that's coming up in the video. Make sure you realize you don't need to bring US dollars despite going into Cambodia. So let's start with where it picked us up from. So I live in northern Nha Trang, and this is about a 2-minute walk away from my apartment. I've stated this many times, if you're going to come to Nha Trang to live, this is the place to be, and this is just an extra reason to show that. So once you walk to the bus, you'll see a VIP sleeper bus, and it certainly lives up to its name. It was pristinely clean, and it came with multiple pillows and a blanket. Within this bus, there is a low row and a high row, and the pods are really comfortable and modern. I'm 5'11", and I was pretty much at max height with my head touching the top and my feet touching the bottom of the pod. So if you're over 6 foot, you might feel a bit cramped, but if you sleep on your side or sleep on a bit of an angle, you shouldn't have too many problems. That's how I decided to sleep, is on my side. Some of the noteworthy things in these pods is they have quite a few USB chargers, but no power outlets for a laptop. The TV in my pod didn't work, but it may work in others. But I would recommend bringing a tablet or your phone on this journey anyway to pass the time. It is a long journey. There is Wi-Fi on the bus, which had surprisingly reasonable speeds where I could watch things on YouTube or movies. But please be aware that when I did test this, it was at nighttime, so there was a lot of people asleep, so of course the speeds can vary during the day. Make sure you download some good movies ahead of time or use your own internet. There's multiple different lighting arrangements in the pod as well. There's also blackout blind curtains that come down, and there is a toilet on board which does work, of course, but I'll probably save that as a last resort. It was clean when I went in there, but I only went in there in the first hour, so I don't know if they clean it. I didn't check later on. And hidden trick, this is what I do, and I recommend you all do the same. If you have a weak stomach, I just bought a ton of Imodium. So I decided to sit at the bottom row instead of the top row to stay cooler in case the aircon wasn't good, but it certainly was good. It was freezing. Each pod has 2 aircon units that you can turn off and on, and if I was to choose again, I'd definitely choose the top bunk, because one of the drivers was sleeping in the aisle right beside me, and it was pretty uncomfortable because sometimes he kind of stuck his leg into my pod, so it wasn't very comfortable. In terms of what else to bring, I brought a bunch of cashews and snacks. I wasn't going to eat on this whole trip in terms of meals outside. I just brought tons of snacks, so chips, cashews, etc. There is a bottle of water they provide. I, of course, brought my own bottle of water. I didn't drink too much of it, though, as well, because I didn't want to use the toilet. So the journey from Nha Trang to the Cambodian border took about 8 hours, and most people decided to sleep. I just decided to binge watch a bunch of Black Mirror episodes. Can't really go wrong with that show for this journey, hidden tip. But the bus did stop along the way, but no one decided to get out. There was no sections for food stops during this first 8 hours. But once we got to the Cambodian border, the bus parked on the Vietnamese side, and we just pretty much walked straight through to immigration. This is at first thing in the morning, so it's very smooth sailing. There's not many people, you're pretty much the first ones in, so just cross the border and it's easy. Once we crossed into Cambodia, we needed to wait 3 hours to receive our visa, so this meant finding Wi-Fi as our phone plans don't work in Cambodia. This area in Cambodia isn't very nice. This is my first time in Cambodia. It's just full of casinos and it's just not a nice place. We went to one of these rundown casinos just to sit in the aircon and use the Wi-Fi. It was a bit sketchy, so we just decided to leave and go to a tea place instead. Most of these places also use VND despite it not being the local currency, So you shouldn't have any issues there. So after drinking some teas, we got a message on WhatsApp basically saying the visa was done. So we went back to the border crossing, and right beside where you exited the visa section, it's kind of hard to miss. There's a spot where you print your visas. You just pay 20,000 and they print it right then and there. You can ask them to hotspot you or give you Wi-Fi. We went through immigration and the Cambodia side was great. The Vietnamese side was not good. It was horrible. The lines were massive. And what people will come up to and say is, if you pay 200K, you can go into the VIP line. And if there is a massive line, you're going to be there forever. So you make that decision if you want to pay the 200K. We ended up doing that just to save some time. Once we got back on the bus, we immediately went to a little Vietnamese local restaurant, and they just serve mainly small Vietnamese dishes like soups. I wasn't brave enough to try any of this. I didn't want to go to use the toilet with my weak stomach, despite me taking multiple Imodiums. But my girlfriend did, and she said it was okay. Everything was around 10 to 20,000 a meal. We stopped at a few other local places on the way back. It was mainly just basically cigarette breaks, and you could get some food. And then we arrived back at Nha Trang, 2 minutes walk away from my apartment. Overall, despite me dreading this bus run, it was actually really easy and comfortable. I was actually very shocked. The worst part about it actually wasn't the bus. It was waiting in Cambodia in not a very nice area. There's nothing to really see either, despite going for a walk. And then dealing with immigration on the Vietnamese side was not fun. So this is definitely a highly viable option, especially if you're good at sleeping on buses or planes, because before you know it, it will be over. If not, if you have a tablet, you're not going to have any problems. If you want to see more expat-related content, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thank you.